this nonsense that we call the world, this nonsense that makes us believe certain things and react certain ways, is all nonsense. It's all a manipulated game. It can see that. And so it starts to operate above it. From that level, it doesn't care what you say about it, because it knows it's all nonsense. And it certainly doesn't care about potential consequences for doing what it believes to be right, because it will just walk. It doesn't know any other way. To consider consequences is to consider not doing what you believe to be right. That level of the heart would never do that. And this for me, this is what takes us out there. What we call death. Just to, I mean, if you have a biological computer that's decoding this matrix into a sense of reality, then when it ceases to do that, like this computer ceases to do it, then the screen goes blank. It's not doing it anymore. And what do we say? Oh, my computer's died. Well, that's what happens. This is what death is. Death is the biological computer ceasing to function, ceasing to decode this reality. And suddenly you find yourself, as near-death experiences have in endless numbers, in a completely different reality to the one you were experiencing a few seconds ago. And it's because this has stopped decoding the matrix. And the way out is through this. Because if you remain attached to this reality and all the thought and emotional connections to it, then you'll hit this, what Buddhists call the wheel of samsara. You'll be back in, reincarnated back in, because this overlay, this fake reality, can only survive with a throughput of consciousness, awareness. And if you became aware of the nonsense, when you leave this reality, you're out of here, because you know it's nonsense. You know that the true self is a state of infinite awareness. So you're out, and you're connecting with that state of infinite awareness, because that's what you believe yourself to be. That's what you are self-identifying with. That's what you connect with, out. But if you still hold perceptual, emotional, mental connections to this reality, then you won't get out. You'll go into the wheel of samsara, because this force, this astral force, if it didn't have this trap to keep consciousness, souls, whatever you want to call them, it coming in and out of this reality, then it would run out of people or run out of souls very, very quickly, because you'd come out of the body and you say, well, so I'm not bloody going back there. I'm out of here. So they want to keep you in. And so this matrix, this overlay, has other levels too. And one of them is the astral level. And so it's like a fake heaven. And people or souls leave the body and they enter this fake heaven. They go to the light, the fake light, up the tunnel and all that stuff. It's all part of the whole manipulation to keep you in the matrix. And then you come back in another form with another experience. And the reason that they do this, and there has to be a reason, obviously, is that they are feeding off our mental and emotional energy. This force, this astral force that's created this whole fake reality and its astral levels, the fake heaven, it's feeding off our energy. Every time that we feel emotion, every time we feel or think, we're generating energy, which relates to the nature of the emotion and the nature of the thought. So like I said earlier, depression, fear, anxiety, resentment, hatred, regret, all these things are low vibrational energy, and it's the low vibrational energy that this force feeds off. It's what Robert Monroe, in his astral travels, he coined the word loosh. They're feeding off human loosh, in other words, the mental and emotional energy we're giving off, and so they have to try to keep us in this trap of reincarnation, so that we keep producing loosh. And so when we leave the body, the manipulation goes on, unless we are aware by that point what the game is, in which case we leave the matrix, the astral level, all of it. We leave it in totality. But that is what they're trying to stop. And so, for instance, you talk to near-death experiencers, and they, of course, don't go into the wheel of samsara and come back in another form. They come back in the same form when their body is revived. So they don't see what's on the other side of the veil. They only see this side of it, astrally, this side of it. But they say how they see Jesus, or they see the figure of the religion that they believed in. And of course, in the human world, we're told to connect the light to God and spirituality. I've seen the light. And so when you leave the body and a light comes, you know, and some religious hero appears, who's not really, you do what they say. You go up the tunnel, or you go towards the light. You cross the veil, which near-death experiencers don't do, and you come back here. And I've written about this at great length in my recent books, having talked to and seen the experiences or experiences of people who, first of all, near-death experiences, yes, and the themes are very common. But also, I've talked to people and seen the recordings of people who say they remember the pre-incarnation point where they incarnated, or just before, and they tell a very common tale too. And it's very clear that the wheel of samsara is very technological in nature. You know, we think the astral must be, that's spirit, that's heaven. That's not like this. Won't have technology. Oh, it does. It's just in a different vibrational band than here. The technology that's coming in here to take over more and more, not least the fusion of humans with artificial intelligence, which is their big goal, is coming out of the astral. That's where it's coming from. It's coming out of the astral into the underground bases of the secret projects where they interact with these entities, and then it flows into the public arena. And you'll notice that as this technological explosion has gone on, it's seamless. There's not a situation where people are sitting around a table strumming their fingers waiting for the next level of technology to be invented or discovered. It just, one thing follows the other, and it gets faster and faster and faster and faster. The advancement gets faster and faster and faster. Well, there's a reason for that. It already exists in the underground bases, the secret projects, and in the astral, and it's being played out in a particular sequence. It's like a carrot in front of a donkey. Yeah, kitty, kitty, kitty. Use a different analogy. Pulling you towards dystopia. On the basis of, the technology's advancing. Yeah, but why is it advancing in the way that it is? It's to control you. Because if you have a situation which the oligarchs of Silicon Valley and other parts of the world, China, want, they want to fuse humans with artificial intelligence. And that will mean that artificial intelligence will be doing human thinking and human emotional reaction. We won't even be controlling our own emotions anymore, or our own thoughts. They'll be delivered to us. Now, what do you think those artificial intelligence thoughts will not ask? The big questions. Who am I? Where am I? What is this place? Won't ask them. And that's the idea. It's been the ultimate goal all along, to create a situation where the human mind, human consciousness, is deleted from the perceptual process. So they don't have to manipulate information anymore. They don't have to suppress information anymore. You'll just get your thoughts and emotional reactions direct through artificial intelligence. You'll become basically a computer on someone else's internet. And that's what I've been warning about for decades. And look around. Donald Trump's pushing this so-called big, beautiful bill. And one of its, one part of it is that the states of America will not be able to regulate artificial intelligence for 10 years. Well, in 10 years, artificial intelligence will be running the world and being fused with humans. 2 days into his presidency, 2 days in January, he wheeled out in the White House Larry Ellison and Sam Altman to announce up to $500 billion AI project called Stargate. This is where it's going, and it's being orchestrated from the astral. People like Trump and Ellison, Altman, they're only vehicles, they're only gophers. It's all being orchestrated from the astral. So we are in a period now where the expansion of our consciousness to beyond the limitations of this fake reality is absolutely vital, because that's where the answers lie. That's where the true self-identity lies, and that's where the insights lie. That's where the understanding lies. That's where our power to change things lies. Not in the matrix, beyond it. And the heart is a connection to get there. And but it's not I'm going to be nicey because I want people to like me heart. And some people can misunderstand it, I would suggest, on that level. It's that deeper level of wisdom, of doing what you know to be right, irrespective of the consequences, or what appear to be the consequences, potential consequences. You just do it. And that changes everything, changes your life, and collectively it can change this reality. But it's amazing to me. Well, maybe not when you see how it's done, but it's amazing to me how easy it is to control the perceptions of humans. And even now, the truly awakening are big time the exception, not the rule. And but what can you do? You do what you can. You do what you know to be right, and what happens happens. But you can see how the suppression of information on one side and the programming of perception on the other is a very, very powerful combination. But we're talking now. You can go on the internet if you're searching for the answers, and you can access this information. It's not going to be put before you by CNN or MSNBC or the BBC. It's not going to be put before you by the central core of the alternative media. But it's there. And when you ask the big questions, who am I? Where am I? What is this place? How can I make a difference? Then that interacts with the quantum level, and it will put before you answers to those questions. And you'll find yourself coming across information in a synchronistic way that you think is, oh, that's a coincidence. No, it's not. You've created it yourself. You've asked the question and you've meant it, not conceptually, you've meant it. And therefore, the answer's put before you. And it's before you because you've asked the question and meant it. If you don't ask the question, then you won't get the answer. And most people are not asking the question because they don't realize that it's a question that needs asking. And that's the power of program, power of suppression.